This is your revision session for the theory for strand A1 for component 3. We start off with the basic theory of networks. So you need to know that a network is two or more computing devices that are connected together. So as shown in the picture, it can be computers, laptops, tablets, smartphones. If you're at home, it could be your smart speaker, your smart TV, for example. So a network can be wired. That's where all the computers are connected together through cables. Quite often you'll see this in a classroom or an office. And they can also be wireless. This is probably how you've got your network set up at home that uses Wi-Fi points to transmit the data, and there's no need for cabling. Wired networks tend to be faster as cables have what's called a bigger bandwidth to transfer data. So let's have a look at what bandwidth is. So bandwidth is the capacity of a communications channel. It's how much data can be transmitted per second. Higher bandwidth means that more data so that files can be uploaded and downloaded more quickly. Things will stream without buffering, so you shouldn't get all of that jittering. So you've got an example here of low bandwidth being a little bit like a garden hose, and high bandwidth like those really high powered hoses that are used by firefighters. Another analogy you could think of is a road that you see every single day where you've just got one lane of traffic going each way versus a motorway which has got 4 lanes of traffic each way. The higher the bandwidth, the more data is transferred, the quicker we can do things. Generally speaking, cabled data is faster than wireless, and wireless data tends to be faster than mobile data. With 5G, that does change things a little bit, and sometimes these two can change a little bit. So a key type of network you need to know about for your exam is an ad hoc network. This is a type of a wireless network, and it means that you can add and take away devices as you need to. It allows people to do what's called hot desking. That means they can set up and work in one place and then just pick up and move to somewhere else. Visitors to an organisation can connect to the network really easily, and the organisation who owns the ad hoc network set up the key to the network. So anybody that comes in, you can give them the key and they can connect, and then when they leave, they're disconnected from the network. It means that people can bring their own devices to work on rather than being reliant on organisational devices. An open network is a wireless network you can connect to with no password. They can be risky for your data because absolutely anybody can be on them. You don't know who's using them. Whereas with an ad hoc network, the only people using them are going to be the people you gave your passcode to. Open networks, we often see these in airports and shopping centres. So you might see these little signs that say you're on a Wi-Fi hotspot area, you're in an open network, or it might be that you just get a pop-up on your phone. The other type of network that you could use is tethering and hotspots. So a personal hotspot is where you set up your phone to share your data, your 5G or 4G, with other devices. Tethering is when you link a device to a mobile hotspot, so you might tether your tablet to your mobile phone. The good thing is it allows you to use your phone data while you are working on a tablet or laptop if there's no Wi-Fi available. It also means that you can share your data with your friends, so if your friends run out of their mobile data and you've got loads, you can share yours with them. You can set up a password so that only people that you trust use it. So what are these benefits of these ad hoc networks, ones where you can just add and take devices away? Well, they're easy to connect to. They allow you to work remotely and flexibly, so you can work on the train, on the coach, if you've gone on holiday from your hotel room. And the other one is it allows you to use the internet still. If your Wi-Fi has gone down, you can still use the data that's on your phone. So what are the drawbacks? We've got security issues. Absolutely anybody can use them. Data is unlikely to be encrypted on an ad hoc network, so it can also be subject to other types of attacks from outside. Open Wi-Fi can be slow if a lot of people are using it. If lots of people are online, maybe lots of people are using YouTube, it makes it slower for everybody. If you're using a wireless network, the signal strength is weaker the further you are from an access point. So if you're in a large airport and the access point is at one end and you're sitting at the other end, you're going to get a weaker signal than if you were sitting right underneath that access point. Personal hotspots that you set up from your phone have a very limited range. You've got to be quite close to your device. If you use a personal hotspot, you risk using all of your mobile data. And then if you're using a hotspot, your mobile internet is not available everywhere. There are what they call black spots, places where there is poor coverage or if you go through tunnels. So pause the video and have a look and see if you can answer these exam style questions. Right, let's have a little look at how we could answer these. So explain what a personal hotspot is. It's a two marker, so you need a point and an expansion. So my point is where a mobile phone with mobile internet is used to set up a Wi-Fi hotspot, and my explanation so that other devices can connect or tether to it to share the internet connection. When might you use a personal hotspot? One mark, it's just a give or a state. So I've said when there's no Wi-Fi available. I've just expanded for your clarity to say, for example, on public transport. 2A, state two benefits of connecting to open Wi-Fi in a cafe. 2 marks. It's a state, so it's just a simple statement, no explanation needed. So I've gone for it doesn't use your mobile data allowance and it's free and easy to connect to. And for 2B, state a disadvantage of connecting to open Wi-Fi. I've given 2 just to help you out. It's less secure as it is not encrypted and anyone can use it, and the speed may not be as good as there may be a lot of users. Right then, next section is cloud storage. So cloud storage is saving files onto remote servers by uploading them through the internet. And I've just put you a little example here. These are the kind of servers that you would be uploading to. And I've given you some examples of the different softwares you might have seen for this. You can also access your files from remote servers by downloading your files from the internet. The availability of cloud services is that they're available 24/7, 365. That means they are always available for you. Downtime, that is when you can't reach your data, it's very unlikely because they have what are called mirror sites. That means your data isn't just stored on one set of servers, that data there is mirrored to other servers, which helps the organisations to maintain this always on service. Access rights. So you can set who's got access to files. This is particularly important if you want to share them with people. So you can set the levels of access to be read, read and write, or read, write and delete. Access rights allows you to share your work so that if you want to, you can collaborate with other people, which is really useful. You might want to share a file with somebody and just want them to read it, so you just set it to read. If you want them to be able to edit the document, then you'd set it to read and write. So let's look at the amount of storage you get with cloud storage. It is scalable. That means when you want more, you can add more. You just pay for what you use. So the good thing is you can add when you need to store more data. If you then get rid of that data, you can reduce your amount of storage. You quite often get some storage as free from the provider, and then you just add on as you need it. So the good thing is it gives you that flexibility. You only pay for what you are requiring. Synchronization is important. This makes sure the same file is on your device as it is on the cloud. So anything that you do on your mobile phone, for example, you can set it to back up to the cloud. And you can set it up to do that immediately when, for example, you've taken a photo, or you might want to set it that you only synchronize it when you're connected to Wi-Fi. If you are synchronized, you've got the same files on the cloud as on your device, it means it's quicker to open them up. You can set it to auto save and you can set it to auto backup as well. As I said, might be useful, particularly if you're traveling and you don't have much data or it's expensive, to just do it when you're connected to some Wi-Fi. Use some free hotel Wi-Fi and upload it like that. So what are the benefits of cloud storage? You can access your files from anywhere that's got an internet connection. You can access it at any time. You can share your files so you can work collaboratively. Your files are synchronized, so whichever device you use your files on, it's going to be the same document. It's scalable, so you can add more if you need to. You might get some for free. And you can automate your backups, which means you might be able to have less IT staffing. So what are the drawbacks of cloud storage? If you have no internet connection where you are, your internet's gone down, you're not going to be able to access your files. If you've got a slow internet connection, you've got a lack of bandwidth, then file transfer up or down from the cloud is going to be slow. It can be expensive if you need a lot of storage, and you are reliant on third-party security. You're reliant on that cloud provider storing your data for you. Pause the video and have a look at these questions. Let's have a little look at the answers. So we've got explain 2 ways in which cloud storage could benefit an organisation that has employees on different sites working on the same project. So my first one, I've said employees can share work through the cloud rather than having to email files. Then I've said they're always working on the same document and they can see the changes that are being made in real time. That's a real advantage of using the cloud. It's not you do something, email it to somebody else, they do something, save it, send it you back, you save it, you open it, you have a look. You're both working on that same document and you can always see what's being done. Number 2, an organisation requires flexible storage capacity. Describe one feature of cloud storage that could be used to keep its costs down. So point plus expansion. So my point here is it is scalable. My expansion, they can add or reduce storage as needed, only paying for the right amount. Number 3, small business rents cloud storage space. This allows staff to share files. Explain one other benefit to the business of storing data on the cloud, and it's 2 marks. So we've got point and expansion. So I've said data can be set to back up automatically. There's a point. I haven't expanded that. So let's have a look. How do I expand it? Back up automatically. So less need for technical staff. Then I've got data can be accessed from anywhere with internet access. So that's a key benefit. Explain one drawback of storing data on the cloud. If there is an internet outage, then you cannot access your data. And I've also said it's reliant on third-party security. So let's have a look at cloud computing. So cloud computing is using software online rather than software which is stored on your device. And on your device, it would be stored on your hard disk drive. So it gives you access to a range of software. The commonly used platforms you probably know are Office 365 and Google Docs and Google Sheets, for example. So all the applications, that's the programs, they run on a remote server and it uses their processing power. That means you can use a less powerful computer, which could be cheaper. Cloud computing allows easy sharing of files for collaborative working. it means that you've got one file, and once again, you will work on that one instance. With cloud computing, your work is automatically saved, so you're not going to lose your files, you're not going to accidentally close it and not save all your work. Some businesses will also use a mix of traditional and cloud computing. So what are the benefits? Everyone uses the same version of the software, so this is compatibility and consistency. No software updates are needed, so it can reduce your IT staff costs. It uses third-party servers for processing, so cheaper devices can be used. It's scalable, so you can pay for the amount that you use and add more when you need it. You can share files for collaboration. It shows you who last worked on a file and when, and it can notify you when your files change. So how do we choose cloud computing? Because there's loads of different providers. Well, as a business, you would have to think about what features you use and what's available. How easy is it for your staff to use? If everyone's used to the Microsoft system, you might not want to move them over to Google because it would take them time. How much does it cost? What's the interface like? Does it work with the systems you've currently got? Can you work offline? So some people might need to work offline. For example, if they're on a train journey, if they're going through tunnels, they want to be able to work offline and then upload things when they're completed and they've got a better connection. And you also want to know, what is the downtime like? If you're using that provider, how much downtime is there likely to be? So pause your video and have a go at these questions. So question 1, describe the difference between cloud computing and cloud storage. Cloud storage is saving your data online, whereas cloud computing is using software online. Explain 2 benefits of cloud computing to businesses, that's 4 marks, point plus expansion, point plus expansion. So I've said everyone who uses it works on the latest and the same version of the software. Software doesn't need to be installed on every computer, so it saves time and support staff costs. Software updates are done by the provider, so there's no staff or time costs. And files can be shared to allow collaborative working. So we've reached the end of this section, so hopefully you feel that you have a much better understanding of your strand A1 and you can go away and do some more practice questions.